All right, my name is Eric, and today I've elected to go with the waterfall project model. So starting off with the summary, it is a sequential model which must complete each phase before moving to the next. So very structured. The phases for waterfall include requirements, which would be going over what you need to do for the project, kind of the scope and stuff like that. And then next would be the design, which is coming up with solutions and how you might implement. And then next you'd start implementing, which is actually like working on the project, for example, working on code and implementing it. And then next, test the code, make sure it's doing what is intended. Um, and then finally, maintenance, like making the adjustments as necessary, and finally deploying. Um, so this also has a heavy emphasis on documentation. Some strengths for Waterfall is its simple, straightforward project model. Uh, so definitely a perk. Very structured, as we said before. Leaves less room for error. No interpret like there's not a whole lot of room for interpretation and error in that way. Progress can also be easily measured because of its simplicity. Um, Great for requirements that are unlikely to change. So it's not super adaptable, but it is a strength that it excels in this area. Emphasis on documentation also helps for if you have to return to this project at any time. Next, we'll go to disadvantages. So as I said before, not particularly adaptable because it's so structured. Not a whole lot of room for making adjustments. It's not very flexible. Not ideal for complex projects because you kind of need to have it pre-planned, and then you're not going to be going through iterations like you would with Spiral. So this doesn't do well, like I said, with uncertain or changing requirements. Not a flexible project model. And it's not going to have any working prototype code until late in the process when you're basically done, and that'll be the end of the model. And similarly, stakeholders are going to have a whole lot of say because you're not going to be going back and iterating, changing things with feedback compared to some other project models. And then finally, the best use, I would say, is it's very exceptional at predictable projects, smaller scale, usually, um, things that aren't going to be changing a whole lot and that you need feedback from the stakeholders. So, an example is a project that isn't critical, like in a health field where risk is very important, risk assessment. So, for example, a widget that would tell the weather is not going to put lives in danger if it's not properly risk assessed. So, yeah, that's Waterfall. Thank you.